So at the start of the year, I set out on a fun little challenge to recreate Marvel Rivals but with DC characters in 2 weeks. And you know what, I wouldn't call it a fun challenge, but you know, it ended up pretty well. And it's been a while since then, so let's check up on the project and see how far it's gone.
I'm not gonna say that I'm impressed because I know that you're a banger.
What do you call me a bagger for? Now, to be honest, I wasn't quite ready to do a video just yet because there were so many things that I wanted to have gotten done by now. For example, I wasn't a big fan of the UI at all. I wanted to have that completely changed. And there's also like having better background music. I was going to make my own tracks. And I also wanted the fully complete map before I did the next video. The nice bit about these devlogs, I don't know, I feel like showing truth about like how progress is actually going on game development is really important. And so in the spirit of, I don't want to say keeping it real, I sound 80 when I say that, but in the spirit of being real, if I was to describe how the last few weeks of working on this has been, I feel like when Thanos was fighting Cap and Thor and Iron Man in Endgame, right? The pressure he was facing, the 3v1, it definitely wasn't fair, but you know what, he was low-key cooking. That's how I feel like now. I'm here trying to keep track of like all these old bugs and old things that I need to get sorted out, and all these new stuff that I'm trying to make, and all these new heroes and everything. And then there's like trying to package the game and sort of market it as well. It's like I'm fighting a war on like 3 different fronts, but the best part is that I'm kind of having fun, and we're at the point where we actually have play testable builds, which is so exciting because now I can actually get like a lot of people's feedback and I can, you know, see how it's actually going. But yeah, this is going pretty well. Anyway, with that yap session aside, let's talk about the fun stuff, the characters. So first of all, there's our resident Red Runner Rapid, because you know, Scarlet Speedster was taken. So I got a few comments talking about how the idea of giving him a ranged weapon where he moves so fast he punches the enemy and then moves back to the original spot was a really good idea. So I did the wise thing and removed that. Okay, now hear me out. So the new primary fire is this targeting circle where you dash to where it's placed and you damage any enemies you run through. Combined with the sprint, it allows the rapid, to be crazy fast, but it only has about 5 bullets technically and a decently long reload animation, so in some way it's kind of balanced. But because of this fast movement, it actually kind of reminds me of Black Panther's gameplay. Not that I would know because I can barely play him properly, but he kind of dashes around the map and he's just really hard to hit. I'm not good at playing dive characters in Marvel Rivals, but this is what I imagine it's like, speeding in and going straight for the back lines and then just disappearing. From the testing I've done so far, it seemed like people really like the movement style of Rapid, even though it can be a bit too hard to control. But you could say the same about characters like Spider-Man too.
Yeah. Oh my, no way. Okay, there we go. Hey, I'm goated.
With the first version, I think it was cool, but the issue is you could like aim into the air and that just doesn't make any sense at all. And I really didn't have a way to stop it. But this version, it makes the gameplay more unique because not a lot of characters would have something like this. Oh boy, you're getting bodied.
I forgot how to play. Oh my god, I got cooked. Yeah, I forgot how to play Rapid.
So now his new E ability is this Iron Fist like speed punches, and it's fairly straightforward. It wouldn't one-shot anyone, but it's good for getting people down to low health. Next, his ultimate ability, which is bar for bar Psylocke ult. I think I had a comment somewhere talking about like making his ultimate time travel, which like, what? How?
What? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, and I can move. Okay.
So next up we have our Batman and Moon Knight ripoff. So I think he's the most developed character so far with the most complete kit. His explosive shurikens are more fleshed out, so you can only place 2 down, and when you destroy one, it refreshes your count. If you die, it still gets the active ones when you respawn. If you're either playing this Ninja Man or there's another Ninja Man on your team, the targeting AoE ring is blue, and for enemies it's red, just so you know which ones to kind of stay away from or which ones are safe to cross over. And this is something that Marvel Rivals does a lot, although theirs is a lot more subtle. So I probably need to work on that. Also, if you already have 2 on the field and you want to place another one, it gets rid of the oldest one. That way you can always place one down. All that being said though, through the testing, it doesn't seem like people are really getting the hang of this ability. Like, I don't think it's really clicking naturally, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because in Marvel Rivals, there's been a lot of characters and a lot of abilities that people learn over time and they realize more and more details about their kit. So I might replace it in the future, I might not. It just depends on the feedback from a lot of people actually playing. I played it enough to know that like it's best used when you place it in a corner or something like that. So the shot shuriken ability now has this massive tail, giving you time to aim or giving you time to react to it. He now has a grapple hook move that's pretty similar to Moon Knight. Actually, not even just similar, it's pretty much the same, but mine has a shorter cooldown and a longer range, and it gives you a lot more mobility than probably even Moon Knight has. Then we have the ult, which is pretty much just a copy of Moon Knight, but instead of a portal from the moon haunting you, it's a military drone carpet bombing you. I obviously need to like animate it, fly in and everything, but that will come a bit later.
Oh, nice.
So next is Warrior Woman. So now her shield runs on a separate shield attribute similar to Captain America and Doctor Strange. I've started implementing more complex stats like damage boost, bonus health and shields, and for some reason it wasn't working in the package version of the game. I was having a weird issue where a specific function won't get the stat, which meant that Wonder Woman was broken for a lot of the testing, but I've managed to fix it now so people can actually test Wonder Woman properly. Her lasso has been improved as it no longer does this weird rotation thing, pretty much works perfectly now. Her new F ability is this move where you dash forward and if you hit an enemy you knock them upwards. From there you have two options. So you could aim at them and you could do this slash attack that knocks them back pretty far away, or you could do this down smash move from this targeting field. Her ult isn't really as fleshed out as it could be right now. It's a pretty simple damage boost, but I'm thinking that we could also add something like a team buff like Captain America. We also have our new hero who is our Superman clone, Blue Justice. So I was trying to rip off Superman and Blue Marvel and get like a 2-for-1 deal on, you know, ripping off characters. The beard is baked into the asset that I'm working off, and none of the like references have a non-bearded version, so I can't really change it. But I don't think it looks that bad. He kind of looks wholesome, like if Thrag from Invincible had like a Thorfinn I'm a better person arc and decided to like grow a beard to show that. Anyway, tackling Superman was going to be a big challenge because he has to be able to fly and also has to be a mostly melee character, and he also has to be a vanguard, which is a weird mix. Imagine giving a rival's character the ability to fly, giving them crazy durability, crazy health, and then also giving them a good melee kit. Wait a minute, isn't that just like season 0 and 1 Iron Fist? So to solve this problem, I decided to take inspiration from Magneto, Doctor Strange, and Thor. He looks like he flies, but really it's just a walking movement mode with a flying animation like Magneto. When he actually wants to fly, we use this move called Rocket Takeoff, which is inspired by Doctor Strange's levitation move. He then has this version of Thor's dash/charge attack, which gives him a lot of mobility, especially since he has like this really slow walk speed. He also has laser vision and it works sort of like Iron Man's unibeam. Then there's this punch wind projectile thing. It was supposed to be one of those moves where a super strong character slaps the air and like causes a sound break or something like that. But I don't have a solid animation for that, so it's just a punch for now. I don't have an ult yet, but if I did, it would be pretty much exactly like the Thing or Thor's. So he's definitely a brawler type vanguard, and I think I've been able to do that pretty well. I don't think he's really resonated with players who have tested it yet, but then again, vanguard and tanks, they haven't always been the most popular playstyles. Recently I've been catching up on the Harley Quinn show, and one character that I knew I just had to add was Poison Ivy. So everybody welcome Queen Flora. I'm low-key proud of that name. It's definitely going up there in one of my best works. So she's very much in like early stages and everything's very rough right now. But for her primary fire, she has these 2 vines which attack enemies. I've finally been able to get a good grasp of control rigs, so I actually was able to procedurally animate these vines and make them stretch to where they need to attack. Then she also has like this mantis like sedating projectile. I'm gonna make it like a flower themed spores type of stuff. Then she can also place down these wall of vines which heal nearby allies and herself and provide some cover too.
Yeah, come at me now.
Venn diagram. Her F ability I still need to work on, but for now it kind of just allows her to switch between the different plants she has down, and I was kind of taking inspiration from how Loki switches between different clones. So that about covers it for characters. So a lot of what's left to do in the game is like fully completing the map and, you know, just testing characters' abilities and the gameplay, the fun bits. So I'm thinking that it's a good idea to maybe get back into streaming a bit. It won't be like regular streaming, but maybe once or twice once a week, something like that. And ideally I'd like to be able to stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so I'd need to find a solid like provider for that. And I've also set up a Patreon too. Wherever I get to by the end of making this video is what I would probably put out. It would be like frequent updates on Patreon, then the regular stable version on itch.io. Either way, subscribe to stay updated with the project, or if you just like the content. And yeah, join the Patreon if you want to support the channel. The next major improvements has been towards the AI. So I kind of tacked on this AI system to the project at the end of the last video, but since then it's actually evolved so much more. I finally learned how to use environment query systems, so now the NPCs have like a proper attacking range. So this means characters like Rapid or Warrior Woman, they would much prefer to get up close. Meanwhile, Batman would keep his distance and use projectiles from afar. So there's ability categories now, which means that the AI could use certain abilities to help with movement and to get to other places faster. So now Rapid will actually use his sprint to get to health packs or enemies, and Superman would use his dash or charge or fly every once in a while. I need to incorporate things like jump and a grapple for our Batman character, but they should be pretty straightforward to do. One of the things that added so much more depth to the AI was making them try find health packs when they're low health. It actually makes them kind of seem like real players. So with the AI, all that's left to do is incorporate healing other people into the mix, but I literally only have like one healer character in the game and they're not even finished yet. So then there's this new map, which is supposed to be like a practice room map. It's kind of similar to the training room in Warframe or the harm room in Marvel Avengers. The whole idea is you can go in there and you can spawn AI and practice getting the feel for certain characters in an actual game-like condition, not just ones that stand there and take all their hits. So the cool thing about having more subscribers now is that I can post a poll and actually get more than like 5 responses. So I asked which map from the DC universe would you guys like to see most, and you voted for the Hall of Justice. And so I decided to make the Batcave. Now, while I definitely did want to do the Hall of Justice, I'm actually not confident in my level design skills at all. And from my last game, I kind of hate trying to do city maps. I think I'd be better off doing a good Batcave that people clearly still want than a bad Hall of Justice that makes no one happy. It's about finished in terms of blocking stage, so I now actually need to get some assets in and like design the whole Batcave feel properly. But I'm pretty happy with the level layout.
On your E, like initially. Oh, this is quite cool. Oh, I like this one.
Alright, so that about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, subscribe and join on the Patreon to support the channel. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.